Hi everyone, it's Jimmy. Today we're going to be talking about the most common wooden burn board out there. I got the OG burn jacket on and I got the board. Let's get the video started. Okay, so the most common wooden burn board out there is this red Performer right here. So Burton made these boards in 1985 and also in 1986. And really, they're the same board. I call this a 1985 because the guy that sold me the board told me it was an 85, but really this one's an 86. And both boards are identical. The only difference between an 85 and an 86 really is the location of the fins. So, on the 85, the fins were kind of moved towards the back of the board versus this 86 where the fins are kind of moved more towards the center. The fins on this one are also a little more shallow. They're not as deep. And the reason Jake Burton did that is so that the board could turn a little easier. Fins on boards, they're not the best. And if they're really deep, it's going to kind of track straight. So Jake decided, hey, I'll make these a little more shallow and it's going to turn a little easier. The other selling point with this board is that, Jake, really, he said that the nose was a little softer and the board was a little stiffer right where the bindings were. And I don't know if that's true, but that was one of the selling points with this board. But this board right here, even though it's very common, this one is very special to me. And the reason it's special to me is because this was really the first wooden board that I ever bought. And this is the board that actually got me into collecting. So the day that I unboxed this board, it was a special moment for me. And I just remember just being in awe of this board. And something about it was really special. I think it's because it's kind of like a time capsule. And something about, these boards just being all wood, I don't know if it's the wood brings some kind of energy, I don't really know, but there's something special about them. And after I bought this board, I was pretty hooked. I just kept buying some of the older wooden boards. But this one, yeah, is very common. When Jake first started Burton Snowboards, he struggled to sell boards. But man, in the mid 80s, he was starting to grow a lot. And this board is proof of that because there are so many of these boards out there. So many people bought them. I've heard so many stories of people saying, hey, that was my first board ever. And then you see them for sale all the time. Now, if you're somebody that's trying to get into collecting or you just want like a really cool old board, I would say this is a really good one to get. Sometimes you find these on eBay, you can find them a little beat up. You can find them for like 300, 400 bucks. Really, the price that you're gonna pay for one of these boards just depends on the condition. I paid more for this board here because of the condition. It was a nice condition. And at the time I was still new to, I was just gonna get into collecting and I really didn't know too much about snowboards. The guy gave me a pretty decent deal. He didn't rip me off or anything like that, but knowing what I know now, I maybe would have paid a little less, but I don't have any regrets. I love this board. Now in the collecting world, we tend to overlook this board. Most of us that collect, old Burton boards, pretty much everybody has one of these in their collection. But when we see them for sale, we're just kind of like, it's another 85 or another 86. But when I, take a step back and look at it, it's just like, damn, this is a really cool board. If you want one of these, I'm telling you guys, don't overlook this board right here. The first time the Performers came out, it was in the 82-83 season, and it was a blue board that was called the Experimental Performer. And that was the first time they ever put two bindings on a snowboard. The bindings that were on that board, they were more kind of like those rubber bindings versus this board right here. You can kind of see that it has these plates right here. So these plates here, these plates held down the buckle bindings that Jake came out with that year. And I don't have those bindings on this board. And the reason I don't is because those bindings are super rare. If you do find them, they're usually in pieces. They don't survive. Plastic over time just becomes very brittle. And it's very rare if you do find the set. Now I did get in touch with my friend, Craig Brown, who collects Burton Snowboards. He probably has one of the best collections out there. And he did send me a video, so I'm gonna show you guys that video.
Okay, Jimmy, my man, this is for you. I know you advised me to be careful. I'm always careful because they are permanently mounted to the wall. We have some here. I don't know if these are the ones you're looking for or they were these ones. I think you want these OG ones, the original 85s. I've got a bunch of 86 Fast Tech ones here. I know you've seen these in pictures. There's a bunch of old bindings here. All the old bindings. But yeah, here's the front on one. These are the ones that don't have the high backs. These ones do. This board is new old stock. Maybe one of the only ones in the world that still have these guys left attached. Here's a side angle.
Alright guys, so you can kind of see these white pieces here, the high tops riveted into place onto the red strap, the back strap there. And then you can kind of see the plates holding the bindings down. And the front and the back are kind of separate. And then you guys just got a glimpse of the 85 buckle bindings without that high back.
But very rare bindings. If I can get a set, I'm going to try to get some, but they usually don't survive. Now, the other thing with the Performers too, I don't know if you can see here, it kind of has like a convex shape towards the tail, and that was also to initiate, turns a little easier. So, very neat board. Here's the bottom of it. Has the Burton Mountain logo on the bottom. It just says Performer. So yeah, this board was very special to a lot of people. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, hey, this was the first board I ever rode. I've heard that story so many times about this board. And really what's really neat about old boards, when you start collecting them, you can, by yourself, start putting the story together. So yeah, these are fairly common out there, but please do not overlook them. And they're special boards. If you can get one for cheap, just get one. This one, like I said, is special to me, and I'm gonna keep this one forever, and it's in pretty nice condition too. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, or if you own this board at some point, let me know in the comments. And man, thank you for watching. For the longest time, I've been wanting to share my snowboards with other people. I did try to see if one of the local resorts would wanna show some of my boards. And I picked the closest one to me, that way I can switch boards out. But they were thinking about it, and then they said, you know what, we're not interested. So making these videos gives me this opportunity to share the boards with you guys. If there's a board that you guys like and you want me to talk about it, just let me know in the comments. And just thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, please hit the like button and please subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye-bye.